What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are breaking down a macro picture where I think we've already topped, where the real opportunities are right now. Spoiler, it's not about the catching pumps anymore, it's about the farming, being selective, choosing right positions to be in. So let's get into that. First and foremost, market sentiment and outlook. So let's talk a little bit about the big picture first. I mean, the euphoria from earlier, from the late 2025 has completely evaporated. We are seeing liquidity drying up across the board. Retail is completely washed out. The searches for crypto are just downtrending for months now. VC is dumping on any pump that is happening. Basically, you see those memes that the vesting cliff ends and suddenly they disappear from various projects. Meme coins dying left, right, and center. I personally think Solana and Pump.fun is the biggest cancer that happened to crypto. There's no way around it. The reason why we didn't have the sort of the similar even alt season to the previous cycle is because there's so many tokens launching daily, especially when market is trending, that they just drying out the liquidity. So people, instead of having few hundred altcoins to choose from, they have thousands of stupid coins. I saw today one of the accounts promoting like a whale fart, the derivatives of various peppers and dodges and shiba shitus and whatever. It's absolute waste of time and money, especially in the current market. Like all of them are dying within a few hours to days at the most. But here's the thing, this is exactly when you want to be positioning and thinking how to position. Not buying random alts, not buying random altcoins, but farming protocols that will reward early users heavily, because the smart money started trading on some of those for months now. Like a great example is Variational, one of my favorite decks. Shared some articles about it. I will attach that on the bottom of the video in description, so you can have a look if you haven't seen it yet. But you have countless of club dexes that basically all doing the same. The difference is between how much points rewards you get and how much of the fees you're paying. Like the difference between Hyperliquid, Lighter, and a few others is not that big. Hence Lighter is and always will be just a derivative of Hyperliquid. And that's the truth. And after launch and initial hype, you saw the point selling for $100 OTC. Essentially it launched at like $50-60 per point, and now you see it trending pretty weakly, to be honest, straight after launch. So we are at 230, and if you look at the chart, it doesn't really look pretty. And problem with launches like that because is basically it's still VC structure. The huge backing from and support for Lighter was from a lot of VCs that got early, and even though that they apparently, same as the team, have a locks and long-term vestings and all that kind of bullshit, in reality a lot of those accounts were farming with a huge volume, got a huge point allocation. So even without actually getting tokens from the investment, they had a chance to exit a lot at the higher prices, and likely that will continue to do so. So Variational doesn't really have that issue. It's also RFQ. It's very different to Club, which I covered on my article. Point system is going until Q3 this year, and I think they have tons of things coming up. They already crossed the 1 billion in open interest and 2 billion in volume about a few days ago, and estimates giving about roughly like a realistic, not too bullish, too bearish, like medium estimate, giving about $20 to $30 per point. So it's still pretty good opportunity to participate in that. Next one, talking about farming, is definitely Polymarket. I started using that in 2024 when it was election. Continue using that. Sometimes you have obviously better day, sometimes a little bit worse, but if you maintain your activity over time, making sure that your account is organic and consistently using platform, then you'll likely have a chance to participate in airdrop. But it was confirmed that they will be dropping at least some of the supply to their loyal users. I would not expect that all 1.7 million users will be rewarded. I think there will be a lot of filtering, bots filtering and so on. But with a current valuation, which is around $10 to $15 billion, you are looking at pretty hefty airdrop in 2026 if you keep active on that platform. And the third and most important one, one of the three most important ones in my opinion, is Hyperliquid. But not just perps trading on Hyperliquid, but combinations of EVM, which was a great opportunity to use a lot of protocols like Felix, Hyperland, and so on throughout 2025. Second part is a HIP-free, so equity, commodity perps, and so on. And the spot through Unit, obviously also powered by Hyperliquid. So having volume in equity perps and the spot, I think it's the main priority of farming potential Hyperliquid season 3 airdrop. So definitely something to pay attention to. Now, I personally think that market topped, and the smart money is investing in some commodities. They position in the stock market, maybe some selected crypto, which I'll cover a little bit later as well. But I just don't see how we are not currently in distribution, how it's not the top based on what we're seeing on the charts. But we'll cover that in a second. We go through Polymarket, Hyperliquid, Variational. Next one is SPX and NDX. So if you look at this chart, let's go on a daily. It's a beautiful chart of Nasdaq, an incredible uptrend. Look at the uptrend we have, for example, from that dip. Like there was a tariff panic in April. You see that big dip that happened, and since then we literally just grinding up with like minimal retraces. It's insane to think, but the Nasdaq, it's up 60% since April bottom. It's absolutely insane, because in those indexes like Nasdaq or SPX, you're looking at maybe 10 to 15% return yearly. Obviously, I assume not everyone caught the bottom, but in general, if you look at what we have yearly from 1st of January, pretty much yearly open and that dip in April, it's even. So you have about 63% increase in 2025. Then you look at the SPX, it's very similar. Now, I see two potential scenarios here on both NDX and SPX. Maybe SPX have a slightly cleaner chart, so easier to show. But basically, we are consolidating in this very tight range for past few months and just grinding up. So it literally just hit all-time highs last week and continue to grind up with some minimal retraces. Now there are two options I see. I don't think it's, unless we're gonna have a breakout of World War III, it's just not gonna go It's not going to go crazy. We either, breaking up here, retest, and we continue just to grind up throughout the next 2-3 years, at least until end of the Trump's term. I mean, if we look, that's the weekly chart. I see no reason for SPX to not trade at 8-10,000 plus by 2028, 2029. Or we'll have maybe one more spike, some FUD again, whatever it is, doesn't really matter, chart will show us, to retest either this area here, so around 6,300, low 6,000, and that will start the new cycle. Will be nice, reset across the board, and then we go up. The only way that I will get worried if that EMA 200 here grinding up over here, if we do something like to EMA 99, if we start accepting below it, then there's probably some major correction, and that's probably time to move into cash and start not panicking but waiting for the different opportunities. But unless that 6k level here holds as support, if we even happen to retest there, I think we're just going significantly higher over the next 2-3 years. I think Trump can't afford to market to tank, especially as currently there's over 75% chance for Democrats to take midterms. So he'll do everything in his power to pump the market, to promise as much as he can, to take, to put Republicans in a better situations during the midterms. And I think how everything is shaping up, if we happen to have any sort of pullbacks to this area, we are lucky to get it, and that's the big buy opportunity in this between like 6,400 to low 6,000 for SPX, and pretty much identical here on Nasdaq. I mean, it's a beautiful chart, so unless we have a situation as just described, I think we just continue to grind up for the next few years. And if you happen to have a pullback somewhere here, maybe just below, so to 22.5 up to like low 20Ks, if we happen to have any pullbacks like that, that's a big buy opportunity before we're going significantly higher. That's just how I see market in general. Next one, let's just go quickly through indicators I use. I would strongly suggest everyone to have TradingView. There's no better way for you to get organized and everything in one place and monitor stocks, commodities, and your crypto holdings in one place and chart it. I use only a few things. First is 4 EMA. I actually use 3. So it's 12, it is 4 actually, but let me check. But I have 99 and 200 as the main index. So those are the you use on 1 day, 3 day, weekly on high time frames. Let me just switch off the whoops. So basically that's giving you a clear trend. We are both EMA 99 and 200. You're in uptrend, below, big flush. So if you look at the Nasdaq for a past 2.5 years since we bottomed over here, look, the moment we actually accepted below EMA 99 and then EMA 200, we are in consistent downtrend all the way until that bottom here in 2023. Now the moment we accepted back above, you see this golden cross over here, you accept above EMA 99 200, we are in uptrend all the way up to now. And during that uptrend, anytime you have the retest of EMA 200 just below EMA 99 was a great buying opportunity before higher. That's the simplest way to approach it. Same way to look at the SPX, just use those indexes because it's the bit cleaner chart with less volatility. You have this bottom in 2023. Here we accepted below EMA 99, trended downwards, bottom, we accepted above. Since then we an uptrend all the way until now. Any retest of EMA 99 to 100 was a buying opportunity. That was the tariff fought here before higher. Now what you can add to EMA 99 and 200 is TraderXO BTC Charlie Macrotrend scanner. That's EMA 12 and 25. That's giving you a little bit of early signal because it's a lower time frame VMA, basically showing it's easier to keep an eye on. I like it on like 4-hour time frame, for example, to see where market is heading right now. So if we just pull the SPX chart right now for the past 2 months, it's giving you pretty simple bull and bear signal. So when EMA 12 and 25 crossing below, it's a bear, and you see what happened immediately. And if they're crossing above, it's bull. So that's, you know, you can kind of use it for trending, but it's way easier in a more of a trending environment rather than, you know, choppy like here. But you can catch the pretty decent move every time that the signal prints, and then giving you pretty clear signal. Now if I zoom out 1 second, if we go on daily, on like, for example, 12-hour, 12-hour, not really, I'd say daily. Daily, it's giving you additional signal before EMA 99 200, where we are. It doesn't print so many signals, but for example here, you got a signal before we accepted above EMA 99 and 200. It's a bull on daily, the cross of EMA 1225, and since then we didn't print a single bear signal. We are in consistent uptrend. Same over here, you have a big bear signal on daily, and there is a big drop. It's basically giving you like a warning signals or encouraging signals to enter trade and to be more of a risk on and off. Obviously you can use that on smaller time frames to see where we're heading on the EMA 1225. But yeah, that's pretty much straightforward. The cleaners is EMA 99 and 200. That's the cleaner one to use. Next one is SpacemanBTC Key Levels. So that's giving you the Monday low, weekly open, previous week high, previous month high, previous quarter high, previous month's low, and so on. That's giving you pretty clear levels to work with that act very often as support and resistance on the charts. And as you can see, for example, previous quarter low here aligns pretty much perfectly with EMA 200. Previous month low aligns pretty well with EMA 99 over here. So any retest in this area would be great buying opportunity as an example. So I think it's very helpful, easy to see where we are at on the higher time frames. And it's perfectly aligning with EMAs, to be honest. Like, I mean, for example, you see here on the previous week low and yearly open, which obviously aligns because we've been only 2 weeks into January. And if you go on a 4-hour, that nicely aligns with EMA 200 on on a 4-hour chart as well. I mean, perfectly. So it's easy to use it as a support for trading. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin, let's open Bitcoin and Ethereum charts, and well, I think we are in a downtrend. So we have a little bit more to play with EMAs over here. Let me just go close the Spaceman Key Levels. So basically, as we saw before on SPX and NDX example, anytime we accepted below EMA 99, we're in a downtrend. So you saw here, since then there was a 115, 116K, we're in a consistent downtrend. And unless we started accepting above it, I don't see how any sort of bottom is in and how people are just randomly calling it. Obviously that's on daily. You can look at the 4-hour chart to give you a little bit clearer picture. And you can see exactly the same thing straight away. I mean, you see that top printed here in October 6. We struggled to hold it. That was the big flush in October 10. Tried to reclaim it, rejection. Tried to reclaim it, rejection. Tried to reclaim it, rejection. Now we are on some sort of bottom forming here, potentially. So what I think is that as long as we, hold that range over here, we have a chance to do something like that before probably continuing lower down. But the positive sign over here is the EMAs 99 and 200 are crossing on 4-hour charts here, and we actually, if you look, if I zoom in, we are holding just above. So it's very, very choppy, but as long as we hold here above that, you see every time we retesting that, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times retested that and it's still holding. As long as it holds, we have a chance to start trending up higher on Bitcoin. Now, if we do lose it, that's gonna be probably just one big fake out, and we continue to downtrend and seek for liquidity lower down. That's just how I see it. I think if we look at the daily, we are going to have a huge resistance over here around the 100K, and if we happen to have any squeeze to this area, maybe even above and accept below, this is likely just one big fake out, short squeeze, and we are going to seek a liquidity lower down. Now, what I really like on daily are rolling VWAPs. I don't know why I have the same colors. For some reason, I changed some edits, but well, it is what it is. I'll play with that later. Actually, no, let's just change the colors very quickly so it will be more visible. Stability, style. Where is it? Style. There we go. Rolling VWAP. Let's do one blue, one green, one red, and one purple. Yeah. So I use 4 rolling VWAPs. So one is a 30-day, 7-day, for more of a low time frame, 90-day, and 365. Now the most important is always the highest time frame, and here was my confirmation that I would say 80% the top is in. There is no situations that we before that we accepted below EMA 365 yearly VWAP, and from the 2020 to 2023. So basically, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, since we accepted both EMA 200 and the yearly VWAP, we only touched it a few times, and every time there was a big buying opportunity. Here's the first time we accepted below it, and the last time it happened was the January 22. You have this big flush, chop, squeeze, and continue downtrend. Now imagine we are in exactly the same situation, because this whole structure looks oddly similar over here. Like, look at that here. And here. So imagine if we just replicate that and chop, squeeze up, everyone famous, and then we just continue downtrend until we find the bottom and start the new cycle on Bitcoin. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but just the similarities are uncanny. So I think it's worth to keep it in mind that unless we accept above, again, this will be huge fake out. We're accepting above the yearly VWAP, then I'm open that top is not in, we're going much higher, you know, another probably triple free drive over here into 140s, and then we can discuss, you know, where we at. But unless that happens, I think there's no really argument for bulls right now, and any squeezes to this area is super important on daily, which is you have EMA 99 about 96k, but you have a free perfectly aligned here, EMA 200 and 365 rolling VWAP. Any squeeze, if we're lucky to get to that 99 100 area, it could be big short swing opportunity with a simple invalidation that we just accept above, then you cut the trade and we back to bullish sentiment. That's just how I see it. If you look at Ethereum, pretty much identical. This just looks like a big fake out. The good thing on Ethereum is somehow we're still holding above that yearly VWAP. So there is some hopium that Bitcoin can just chop and altcoins, you know, have some legs to squeeze up higher. So this is about 3,000. So basically you have a simple line in the sand at 3k. We hold 3k, we squeeze up to probably at least this 3,700, 3,800 level, maybe even 4k's over here. We accept below 3k. Well, we're likely heading for some fresh lows. That's just how I see that. I think people often also expect the bottoms to be, you know, too quick. I mean, there's a real possibility that we're just going to, if it's, you know, we're not going lower, there's a real possibility that we're gonna have a price action like that for a few months, and then we start trending up. That's something to be prepared. So overall, I think the patience is key in crypto, and it's important just to not put the money in a coins that are underperforming. They are inconsistent downtrend, and you know, you essentially wasting money. The only crypto right now I like, it's XMR, Monero. beautiful weekly chart. You have a huge breakout here, and the previous all-time highs. So as long as this holds, I mean, even if we have a deeper pullback here, as long as this level holds, I think we're trending significantly higher, and any dips are for buying. It's likely going to go very parabolic, at least to 900 to about 1000. It's very similar chart to silver. If you look at the weekly, you have this long consolidation. Obviously have a shorter history, but if you look at the structure here, the launch, squeeze, downtrend here, and then it started the uptrend, and once it reclaimed this previous highs and reclaims above the, you know, that previous resistance it had here, it just went absolutely parabolic. Well, I was destroying. So I think it's very possible that we see something similar on Monero, and there's real possibility that we're going to, you know, 4 figures or higher. I mean, the parabolic runs often go way higher than, you know, people's expectations. So I really don't know where the top is. I think the 900 to 1000 is a decent, you know, take profit de-risk area. But with that kind of parabolic moves, it's very possible that we can go way higher and take it from there, especially when it's going to be consistently outperforming. People will be just looking for where to put money, and privacy now is the main focus on the crypto side. I would say that's the reason ZEC went absolutely crazy, even though I think it's just a handled KOL scam. They just, to what I've read, there is a bunch of KOLs got the deals from, you know, team and market makers that accumulated in this basically non-existent price action, and then they all started pendling that at once together here. So maybe it has some sort of value and privacy side, who knows, but to be honest, I would rather bet on Monero. I've used it. It's a pretty nice community. They have a bunch of things going on, so that's the only crypto pick I have right now. On the stock side, I'm a huge fan of the space stocks, as you saw. I mean, we call the I'll just go on a daily, like ESTS. I did a lot of these calls before Christmas, so you have nearly 50% up on AST Space Mobile, Rocket Labs 34%, Redwire is up 65%, absolutely insane. Now you have Lunar, what we have on Lunar since around 2019, somewhere here, 60% as well on Lunar. Probably lower, called it 20th, so it's more of a here, yeah. That's the daily chart, daily, that's 19. No, it's 19 and 20 is jumping, it's 1 day chart. Okay, anyway, so 42% here move in last 3 weeks. ONS, another great Ondas Holdings, up 84% since end of December, beginning of January. Other stocks are just like on and off so far. Of my favorite pick for this year among some of the biggest stocks would be Amazon. I think I have a beautiful chart. If you look at 3-day, look at this uptrend. It's breaking out here on weekly, so I think looks like it's due parabolic move, and any pullbacks are definitely for buying. I really wouldn't be surprised if we see even around $350-400 for Amazon stock by the end of the year. Next one that went, actually chart to Amazon and Google is pretty similar. just looking at what Google did just before that parabolic move. If you look at that, so that's something what I'll expect from Amazon very soon. Google is great. I mean, it's if we are lucky to have any sort of flush under 300, is definitely buying opportunity. I don't know if we will, but it's definitely something you just add over the coming months or year, and hold it for longer. Intel, absolutely beautiful weekly chart here. We have EMAs here and yearly VWAP squeezing. Think as long as it holds above that 32 here, we're going into 70s at the very least. It's a great chart, great company too. I think they have tons of potential. Tesla obviously is okay. Target, I think nobody really talks about it yet. And if you look at the daily here, it's breaking up after huge downtrend, and there's a huge hype on the collectibles. I mean, we can look at Target was on pretty long downtrend, and I think here it's breaking out. So if it holds above 100, I think it can squeeze at least to 140s, 150s over coming months to a year. So I think will be great performing stock. Next one, ExxonMobil Corporation, oil company. I think with everything going on with Venezuela, I mean, they basically found a huge rig in Guyana that they're exploiting right now, and it's highly profitable. On top of that, rumors they will have a big deal with the Venezuelan oil, which is not as beautiful as Trump describes, but this has been building a base here for 2 years within a very tight range, and now it's breaking up. So I think if we accept above that 126, it's going to squeeze hard. So that's definitely something to look at. We cover XMR, Monero, and from commodities so far my biggest bet is uranium. They're doing a big bet on uranium in America. They're doing strategic uranium reserve. Chart is fantastic. I think uranium here has, I mean, it should be trending into 120s, 130s, but like even a short term, I think we should get into 75, 80 over the coming months. So I think it's pretty easy peak over here. And that's about all, to be honest. And I mean, crypto wise, just look at the Monero chart in comparison to anything else in crypto. It's the best performing coin in 2025 from all the majors. I mean, it's heading into top 10, and people just for somehow they'll fade it. I mean, I bought pretty light because I bought it here. I bought it in 440s, 430s, 450s. Called it on Coricos in 450. Now, it's up pretty decent, 34%, but I think it has way more potential, so it's definitely worth to pick up. I don't know if we're gonna get any dips or not, no idea. With the parabolic moves, it just can continue to go up, but it can just do this, giving people hope that there's a bigger pullback due to this, and it just continue grind up while everyone is gonna keep fading it or calling the top every week, every few days whenever you have a bigger pullback. So there's that. What else? October 6th. October 6th was a perfect top, aligned with the 4-year cycle, with whales exiting, with that 10-10 crash, and that was a time when everyone was super euphoric. You know, everyone was calling for 200k on the timeline, and that was a good time for cycle to end. And now, even though it might not be the top, it really feels like it is right now, and that we're in distribution phase, and any squeezes up higher are for exiting or shorting before lower. I mean, we often stuck with you know, closed eyes and closed mind in the same sort of coins. Meanwhile, like, you have a 30 trillion market cap gold chart looking like that. I mean, you look at gold since 2024, 2023, or silver, or now copper's taking off as well. Uranium's gonna pick up. Look at Nasdaq looking like that, or SPX, and then for some fucking reason people looking at this and thinking, yeah, this is where I'll put my money. I mean, what the actual fuck? You look at Ethereum, you look at Solana, you look at, I don't know, XRP. What in the actual fuck will be reason for me to put money here instead of you know, any of the stocks I should before? If you look at the, you know, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Intel, right now, I mean, way better charts. And you look at Nasdaq, SPX, gold, silver, I mean, everything seems like a better investment than Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, and all the scams. I mean, I think if there's a buying opportunity in the next few weeks and months, your main priority should be buying Bitcoin, assuming you already bought plenty of Monero. Next one should be buying Hype. Hype is in a clear downtrend. Oh, Hype on Binance. Let me just find a Hype on like some better chart. 1 second. Bybit. Let's try Bybit. Where is it? Why is it not loading? Hype. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's a clear downtrend. I just don't think, I mean, people want to buy Hype here. I think if we get any squeeze into 30s, 36 maybe, it will be great swing short opportunity into I don't know, at least this area here. So it's like a $16-18. Obviously this is not the full chart because Hype launched at 3 somewhere here, but like if we get retest of that base somewhere here, you just buy it and accumulate Hype, because it's best protocol with you know, one of the most profitable protocol in a crypto, and the best tokenomics. I see no reason for Hype, like right now, let's say topping, and you know, if you have any squeeze up, you short it, sell it, and start accumulating below $20. I see no reason for Hype to go from, you know, $10 to $20 to go to at least 100 in the next I don't know, 18 to 24 months. And if we truly get the new bull cycle and everything aligns and SPX, Nasdaq takes off, Bitcoin goes back to 150, 180, 200k and so on, and print the new all-time highs, I see no reason to Hype not to trade in hundreds. I generally think there's absolutely zero reason to hold Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, any sort of this Solana shitcoins over Hype. And if you're lucky, we get the dip to, you know, below 22, 18, 16, 14, maybe even 10, 12 again. This is the easiest, you know, buy for at least $100, $120. That's how I see it. And to be honest, I had some chart requests and I scanned through that. I just don't see any good looking chart in crypto right now, except XMR, except Monero. It's absolutely a waste of fucking space right now. So what I would say is a good idea is, unless you have a Robinhood account or any sort of like investments account, for example, in Canada you can have a investment account where you can put X amount into stocks or commodities tax free. I'm sure there's a possibility in different countries to differently invest in stocks and commodities. You can set up KYC account on Trading 212, eToro, anything like that, and start investing into more of a long term into stocks and commodities, and then you have opportunity to start buying crypto when there's a right time to do so. And I don't think it is right now. And I think crypto is great for trading. You have a fantastic volatility, and let's say we hold here, you're looking at the daily, we hold 4 hours, we talk about the DMA 99200. Let's say we hold, you see again dip below the DMA and we hold. Let's say we hold it, maybe we dip over here, but we still hold and squeeze back up, and we go to 96, maybe we go to 100k or just above. This is a great opportunity to probably de-risk and observe. You can always buy back if we reclaim 100k and start squeezing up. But based on the recent weakness, this is too big of a resistance to ignore. So if we happen to squeeze here, is de-risk and short opportunity, and observe if we start rolling back and accept below. If not, then well, maybe that was a huge fake out, fuck everyone up, and we're trending back into 130, 140s. But just be cautious and don't get caught in FOMO over here. Here is a time to be cautious and observe. Maybe, this was the bottom. We reclaim beautifully, we have some bullish news and squeeze back up, maybe. But just don't ape here, go in size and start calling for 140, 150Ks unless there's some confirmation. And personally, I think the easiest way to approach right now is to do trade to make money. Put at least 50% of that money into long-term holdings. Withdraw 50% of that money to bank cash cold storage. 1 second. And 1 second. Not that. Use that to buy dips, panic if happens, and back to trade to make money. And in between all of that, you basically are farming and looking for the new opportunities. Oh, there we go. Cold storage, not calls. Someone was asking how I would approach right now. That's how I would do it. Basically, trade to make money. You take profits consistently. You don't put it back into trading. You don't increase your leverage. You don't increase your size. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Do you have a sip? So, let's say you have $1,000 you trading in futures, you made $600. You take 300 out of the 600, you put into your long-term holdings, you put out the remaining 300 into the aside for any opportunities that might arise. If they arise, you have opportunity to buy deep spinning if it happens. If you have any market-wide pullbacks, there's something new to buy and invest in and so on, and continue to trade to make money. Alternatively, savings, spare, that spare, I mean something that you don't need right now, you don't need for your bills, you don't need for other crap, something you can put in, invest, and don't worry about. And that will be your plan for the next 6 to 10 months. And I think what a lot of people are missing, they're looking at crypto underperformance, the sentiment on timeline and so on, while missing obvious bull market in the low cap stocks and general stocks and commodities. I mean, look at the market open and ons right now. 1 second. We are looking on a stupid fart coin or whatever else people pushing on the pending on Twitter, and you have ons that is up 85%, huge multi-billion dollar stock with a backing from governments from Israel, America, and within 13 days it's up 85%. Why the fuck you wouldn't buy that instead of buying Ethereum or XRP or Fartcoin? Why? You look at ESTS, it's pushing for another all-time high. You look at Rocket Labs, same. Redwire, same. Lunar, same. Why? It makes absolutely zero reason. Like, you want safer, put it in uranium, and you have a US government putting billions to establish the uranium reserve. Countries going back into nuclear power. So if you want somewhere where you just, up few percent a month and good saving that you just put it there, don't worry too much because it doesn't have too much volatility, put it in uranium. But I just don't see any reason, and with after 1010 crash, to put into crypto. And the reason why alts are and will continue underperforming is because of this 1010 week of what happened in 1010. Because some people had the positions built for months or years, and it got wiped out on this illiquid move. And now everyone with a half of an inch of brain thinking, what if it happens again? Do you understand that? So there's absolutely, look at the fucking current. Why is it one of the top coins in crypto? Why this garbage is even existing? Nobody used that. There's no reason to hold it. Like, how the fuck is it still not zero? It will be. And I think in the next coming months we'll see coins like Polkadot, Cardano, whatever other shit coins just trend downwards to those levels from 2020. And a lot of people will be in pain because they're holding or accumulating or buying them instead of investing that's something that have a tangible product, revenue, and backing. Does it make sense? I mean, look at this opening here on the stocks. I mean, it's beautiful. It's just squeezing up into new all-time highs. I see absolute zero fucking reason to hold any crypto except Monero rather than holding stocks or commodities. Zero. There's just no fucking reason. Nobody convinced me that. And the reason why people don't do that is the effort gap, is because it's something new. You have to do account, you have to KYC. I'm pretty sure few months down the line, when all of those are up another 30, 40, 50%, you'll have an on-chain spot on Hyperliquid, through Felix, through Ondo, through TradexO or Unit, and people will be buying Intel at $60-70 because they didn't open up the KYC account when it was at 35. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure people will be buying uranium at $70 plus a few months down the line, somewhere on-chain on Hyperliquid or somewhere else, or Amazon at $300 plus. So yeah, that's just how I see it. Altcoins are in a downtrend. Just look at any of them. Most of them are down 70% since October. Meme coins are down 70, 80, even 90%. They breaking below all the structures in EMAs. There's zero reason to hold them. It's great for trading. I mean, Fartcoin, incredible volatility. Bong, incredible volatility. The recent squeeze you have a few days ago, I mean, perfect. You look at the 4-hour chart, you catch that move on the lows. Kudos. I mean, it's nice move, but I would not be confident holding it, because what if there's another market-wide nuke? I mean, you wouldn't even blink and this will die. So it's great to catch these moves on trading, but I think for now, for the time being, it's just easier to trade, make money on it, and rotate into something tangible until market shows us some signs of strength. I mean, Fartcoin, for example, it looks pretty decent. You have this channel here. 1 second. Like, if it wasn't called Fartcoin, was meme coin, I'll just say, hey, we trade in this channel, probably break up. Here is a big yearly VWAP at like 69-70 cents. This is your huge take profit, and we either accept back below and continue to trend down, or accept the both and then back to bull. Same like with a Bitcoin, if accept above 100k. It could be, but it's very likely it's just the bear flag that eventually gonna break like that. And as much as you have the, for example, here, weeks of downtrend, weeks of all of that can be erased in a few candles, like here. The same thing of you have a few weeks of uptrend can be erased in one bad week with these coins. That's the reason I'm just not confident holding. Great for trading, not confident in holding any of them. So my main message today: selectivity and quality over everything. Stop aping everything, stop chasing pops, stop listening to city influencers shilling their bucks. Farm quality protocols like Hyperliquid, spot, and equities perps. I think that will be main focus for the next airdrop, at least in my opinion. Variational, Polymarket. Accumulate Monero on the crypto side. There will be time to buy Bitcoin and others. I just don't think it's time yet. Build your positions for long-term holds. If we are blessed to have 10%, 15% correction on indexes on SPX and DX, it's great. You can buy instead of prioritizing crypto, I'll definitely buy cheap Tesla, cheap Intel, cheap Google, space stocks, and so on. I think space stocks are gonna continue to outperform until at least SpaceX EPO, which is expected towards Q3, Q4 this year. Defense stocks like ONS looking incredible. I mean, it's just insane. It trades like meme coin, multi-billion-dollar market cap, and somehow people just ignore or missing it out. But yeah, anyway, I think it looks incredible. People who win, it's I think everyone should approach it like a new cycle, and people who win in a in general, in crypto, in markets and investments, are the patient ones. They're not degens. What you're seeing and what you saw last year or previous year, and people flashing those big P&Ls and so on, nobody flashing a big negative P&Ls. They didn't show you how much they lost over time. I round trip multiple 5-6 figures portfolios and setups, and trying to, you know, prevent you from the same sort of experience. And the easiest approach is to have at least like a 6 to 12 months window where you buy something and accumulate and add on the dips. That's something that you can sit tight confidently, and either we have all-time highs and blow off top this year, and then you're in good positions because you already hold some, or we really, you know, chop around bottom later on this year in crypto, stocks continue and commodities continues to squeeze, and you will be already in position for a way higher prices in 2027, 2028. I think I don't want to get too much in the details, but generally the trend, if you look at everything, it's a rich get richer, poor get poorer, and the only way for rich to protect their capital is stock market, the best way, and commodities. So the recent push and the reason why stocks and indexes, ETFs are trending so hard to the upside is because all of these projects are partnering with each other. They're protecting the gains. Tesla partnering with Intel partnering with Nvidia partnering with OpenAI, and whatever. They all partnering with each other. They're pushing general value and sentiment up because that's the best way for them to protect the capital. I mean, government pretends that the inflation is like 3%. In reality, real inflation is about 10% a year. So unless your money makes more than 10% a year, you are losing. Every savings account, every bank, you put money there, bank's making money, you don't. So unless you find a way to put that money somewhere to work for you, you will always work for your money. So yeah, that's it for today. If you found this valuable, drop a like and subscribe. I post these breakdowns regularly. I mean, I try to do so. Links to everything mentioned are below. Variational, Polymarket, and stay safe out there. See you on the next one. Cheers.